Now, the biggest enemy of the aquarium industry, in my opinion, is public perception, particularly incorrect public perceptions. So, according to various surveys that have occurred, the general public, as a generalization, believe that fish keeping is far more expensive than it has to be. It is far harder than it has to be, and it takes up far more room than it has to. Now, don't get me wrong. If you go and get spectacular, state-of-the-art reef aquariums with all your live coral and all your very delicate saltwater fish, then this is a hobby that is going to involve a fair amount of time, a fair amount of money, and potentially a fair amount of space. But in saying that, you don't have to have something as fancy as this to have fish, because you could literally get yourself one of our little starter deals, and they're not expensive. Like, for example, we can sell you this absolute bargain for $99, and that comes with a filter and a light, and it would basically be perfect for keeping mountain clouds, zebra danios, peppered cories, sucking catfish. There's a whole host of temperate water fish that are very, very easy to look after and very, very forgiving. You've also got some little tropical aquariums. Like, for $200, you're getting the heater, the filter, the tank, and the bits and pieces you need to keep those fish alive. So there are some really cheap bargains out there to get you going, but it's all relative to what you're going to keep. So if you're just going to keep very easy to keep tropical fish or very easy temperate water fish, then it really is not a big investment. For say $200 or $300, you should get yourself set up with a lovely little setup and be able to keep very healthy, happy little fish. And they're not going to require a whole lot of space. They're not going to require a whole lot of time, and they're not going to require a whole lot of money. So it's really just a matter of coming down, seeing all the stuff that's available, and also just being, just considering how keen you are or what you're prepared to invest into it. Now, if you're prepared to invest a little bit more, whether that be more time, more money, or more space, then you'd never regret it. For example, I've been selling fish since 1994, and every day I'm involved in, should I get the small tank or should I get the big tank? And people never ever wish they got the small tank. They always wish their tank was bigger. So if you're choosing between a couple of different models, where possible, I'd really encourage you go for the bigger one, because the bigger one will tend to be more stable and you can do more with it. If you get a small aquarium, particularly if you've overpopulated it, then that's when it becomes more work. The other thing too is that goldfish often give our hobby a bad name, because goldfish are basically a carp style fish, and they actually grow very large, and they don't really have a stomach. They've got an intestine, so they basically keep eating, and they're actually quite messy compared to a lot of other fish. Other fish are potentially much more suited to small aquariums because they're much more economical with their waste and they don't grow so big. Having animals that grow out of the aquarium really isn't ideal. It's much better to go for animals that are suited for the style tank you've got. So anyway, if you come down and see us, we can go through with you and we can help you make a decision. And what I really want to impress upon is that fish keeping is by far the easiest, cheapest, and most space conscious pet you can possibly have, depending on your actual selection. So if you're looking for a wonderful hobby, a great pet, and a beautiful piece of furniture all in one, then I really think that you can't go past an aquarium. So anyway, come down and see us, and we will help to make sure that whatever you choose is as economical and as successful as possible. So what we do ask that you do is when you do come down and see us, bring us a sample of your water and we can guide you, and also bring us a little video of the tank running. We want to see what all the fish are doing. We want to see what all the fish are. We want to see any filtration you've got. We also want to see any bits and pieces or products that you might use in the aquarium, so we can guide you. The other thing that I am very, very conscious of is that fish keeping is basically 50% water quality and 50% food quality. So the food that you choose is basically half of fish keeping, because I'm actually not in the shop all that much. Most of the time I'm out doing servicing or consultations, and what we basically find is that I'll go to one person's house and the fish look great, and I'll test the water and it's terrible. I look in the cupboard and I find good quality food. Then I go to the very next house and all the fish are dying. I test the water and it's much better than the last house, but all the fish are dying, and I check the cupboard and sure enough, there's crap quality fish food. Most fish food is processed, pressure cooked crap, but when you get good quality foods, it really makes a big difference. I've become very biased to Spectrum's probiotics and Danichi Color. That's the food that I personally really love. Anyway, put a little comment on the bottom of this video, but what I'm really out to do is let people know that fish keeping is the easiest, most wonderful and most beautiful thing you can put in your house or add to your life. But once again, it's depending on what you pick. So these are a personal favorite of mine. These are the mountain clouds. These are the easiest, cheapest and most undemanding thing you'll ever get in your life. Anyway, come down and see us.